Hola, ¿qué tal amigos? Buenos días, buenas tardes y buenas noches. Siempre es un gran momento para aprender español con Profesor Pablo. Sound the trumpets, let us all rejoice. This is our last lesson with the preterite, the past preterite. Car-gar-ZAR verbs, we've done car verbs, we've done gar verbs, and now we're going to do SAR verbs, and we're going to see how similar all three are. We know that car-gar-ZAR verbs are going to change in the yo form, and only in the yo form. We know that the other conjugations of all the car-gar-ZAR verbs are regular verbs. There are no stem changing, no Y, no J, nothing quirky, nothing odd, just a straight regular verb, except for the yo form. Now, empezar, it's going to be say in the yo form. I started, empecé. In Spanish, for some reason, it evolved such that the Z always changes to C in front of an I or an E. Z to C in front of an I or an E. Again, Z to C in front of an I or E. And if you think about it, it's not really necessary. Why? Because when you say empezar, that's a soft sound. Empezar, what's wrong with empecé with a Z? Well, that's not the way the language evolved. So remember, Z, the letter Z, the marca zero, Z always changes to C in front of an I or E, and that's why we have it here. All right, let's practice our sample verb. Empecé, I started. Empezaste, you started. Empezó, it started, or he started, or she started, or usted, you started, right? We started, empezamos, and they started, empezaron. All these verbs here in the yo form are going to have the CE. Rezar is to pray. Bostezar, to yawn. Aterrizar, to land, like an airplane. Comenzar, to commence or to start. Cruzar is to cross, right? A cross, right, that you wear, a cross, has a vertical member and a horizontal member. They cross each other, right? Cruzar is to cross. Cruzar la calle, to cross the street. Lanzar is to throw or to pitch, or in terms of rockets and spaceships, to launch, lanzar. Tropezar, to stumble, tropezar. Abrazar, brazo is an arm, so you're going to arm somebody. What do you think abrazar means? You're right. Abrazar is to hug. Un abrazo fuerte is a big hug. We say in Spanish a strong hug. Un abrazo fuerte, a big hug. Almorzar. Well, you may know that the word for lunch is almuerzo. Almorzar means to have lunch. Avanzar, to advance. Avanzar. Like in the playoffs, right? Avanzamos, we advanced. Cazar is to hunt. H-U-N-T. Cazar. Rechazar, it looks like English. Reject, to reject. Disfrazarse. Disfraz is a mask or a costume. Disfrazarse means to dress up, like for a costume party, okay? So those are our ZAR verbs that are going to change in the yo form. Let's practice. I prayed, recé. I yawned, bostecé. I landed, aterricé. I began or I started, I commenced, comencé. I crossed, like I crossed the street, crucé la calle, crucé. Lanzar, I pitched, lancé. Tropezar, I tripped, tropecé. Tropecé con el perro, I tripped over the dog. Over here, abrazar, I hugged, abracé. Almorzar, almorcé, I had lunch. Avanzar, I advanced, avancé. Cazar, I hunted, cacé. Rechazar, I rejected, rechacé. And disfrazarse, I got dressed up, me disfracé. All with a CE. Remember, so important. The Z changes to C in front of an I or E. When does this K and the gay and the CE happen? Only in the yo form. Only in the yo form. What do we know about the rest of all these verbs? They're regular, right? Regular AR verbs. We know 96.7% of all verbs in Spanish are AR verbs, and most of them are regular. Okay? So we know the present tense of AR verbs. Hablo, hablas, habla, hablamos, hablan, for the verb hablar, to talk or to speak. The endings are o, as, a, amos, an. What are the preterite AR verb endings, right? Well, we know a, without the C, a, aste, o, amos, aron. So just a little bit of practice here. They got dressed up. Se disfrazaron. They rejected. Rechazaron. I rejected. Rechacé. We hunted. Cazamos. She hunted. Cazó. I hunted. Cacé. Avanzar. We advanced, like in the playoffs. Avanzamos. Avanzamos. I had lunch. Almorcé. They had lunch. Almorzaron. Did you have lunch with your friends? Almorzaste con tus amigos? Abrazar. I hugged. Abracé. I hugged my mom. Abracé a mi mamá. Let's come down here. Tropezar. I tripped over the dog. Tropecé con el perro. We tripped. Tropezamos. He tripped. Tropezó. Lanzar. I pitched. I pitched very well. Lancé. Lancé muy bien. Johnny pitched yesterday. Ayer Juan lanzó. Annalise pitched today. Annalise lanzó hoy. Cruzar. I crossed the street. Crucé la calle. She crossed the street. Cruzó la calle. We crossed the street. Cruzamos la calle. Comenzar. They started today. Comenzaron hoy. I started yesterday. Comencé ayer. When did you start? ¿Cuándo comenzaste tú? Aterrizar. The plane landed. El avión aterrizó. I landed without problems. Aterricé sin problemas. Bostezar. I yawned. Bostecé. Mom yawned. Mamá bostezó. We all yawn. Todos bostezamos. Rezar. Did you pray? Rezaste. I prayed. Recé. We prayed. Rezamos. They prayed. Rezaron. And of course, empezar. I started early. Empecé temprano. They started late. Empezaron tarde. So there you have it. Car-gar-ZAR verbs change in the yo form. The rest of the verb is regular, okay? For the CAR verbs like tocar, la guitarra, I played the guitar, toqué, Q-U-E accent, to maintain the hard sound of that C in the infinitive, tocar, maintain the integrity. Jugar, I played baseball, jugué, baseball. We go to GUE to maintain that hard sound of the G in jugar. But empezar already is soft, but nonetheless, the way the language evolved, Z changes to C in front of an I or E. Okay, es todo por ahora. That concludes the preterite. We'll have a little review on the preterite, and we'll be hitting the preterite, like I said, all the time from here on out. And the same with the present, infinitives, but we're going to build upon them. Our foundation now is set. We can build a mega mansion. Okay? Thank you guys always for tuning in. I appreciate all your efforts to learn Spanish. Any requests that you have, please send them my way. Send me a message. I ask you to check out profesorpablo.com. It's a 500-page plus ebook that has everything we do and much, much more. Go to profesorpablo.com, check it out, read the description for all of our lessons, and there is a discount code, Pablo50, Pablo50, that you can use to get this profesorpablo.com system at half price. Okay, that's it for now. Please subscribe and like. That really helps the algorithm get the message out to more people so that they can learn Spanish as well, if this is their style of instruction. Okay, gracias por todo. Hasta luego.